America is deeply divided. There are only two sides to every issue, and there is no interest in finding common ground, not even with members of your own family. But as the 2024 presidential election looms on the horizon, there has never been a more important time to have the necessary conversation.
Welcome to the Necessary Conversation. We're back. My sister is finally here once again. So it's all of us. It's the whole family, the whole Kultgen family. Myself, Chad Kultgen, my sister, Haley Pope, both left-leaning liberals, and my mom and dad, who are QAnon, MAGA supporting.
You are not left-leaning liberals. You are communists.
Okay.
That's your new title.
Okay. That is our new title. Let's, first of all, start off by saying today is Sunday, June 18th. Happy Father's Day, Dad. How's it going?
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you.
Okay.
And it's going fine now that we're on our way to communism.
Okay.
There will be death.
Okay.
All right. And happy Father's Day to everyone else out there.
I will not walk to the gulag peacefully.
Okay.
They will have to kill me.
Nobody's going to put you in a gulag. We're going to start off today's episode, as we start off all episodes of The Necessary Conversation, by asking you, Dad, the prediction you made on January 29th said that a nuclear weapon would be used in Ukraine within 30 to 40 days. It is now 141 days past that prediction.
Yes.
No nuclear weapon has been deployed. Is your prediction wrong?
No.
No.
Moving on, we have a question from a listener. If you would like to submit your questions to this podcast, you're just going to send an email to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com. In that email, you're going to include a 1 minute or shorter audio clip. I still have some people sending in long, page-long diatribes about whatever with a question at the end. I don't read those. Simply don't have the time. You got to put it in a 1 minute or under audio clip. All right, and here is our question today. Are you ready?
Is it from a communist?
Mm-hmm.
You tell me.
Hi, Colton family. Please call me Jess from New Jersey. I have a fair amount of experience with the criminal justice and foster care systems, and there are a lot of kids in need of homes and foster care, especially with behavioral issues. I can only imagine that if abortion becomes more outlawed in the United States, there will be even more kids in need of homes and placements, especially with behavioral issues. While their parents maybe should be forced to pay or care for them, you cannot get blood from a stone, especially stones with serious mental health or substance abuse issues or incarcerated. How do your parents think those kids should be paid for? Shouldn't people who are pro-life have to pay for them and raise them? Your dad always talks about how he was adopted, and I'm sincerely so glad you and Haley exist. I'm such a fan of your content, your beliefs, your activities. But as far as I know, your parents didn't adopt any kids. Shouldn't people who are pro-life have to pay for and adopt the kids that they're voting for? Thanks. Love you guys. Have a great day.
So there you have it, Mom and Dad. You guys are both openly pro-life. Why didn't you ever adopt any kids?
Didn't need to.
We have you guys.
But should pro-life leaning people be responsible
By the
for
way,
these children?
let me point out two things here about your
Okay.
listener. She's from New
God.
Jersey. She's a fucking communist.
Oh, God.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. People who are pro-abortion, here's her biggest mistake on what you just said. The reason there are so many kids out there that need homes is because of our family breakdown, which is coming from you communists.
Doesn't matter where it's coming from.
It does.
It doesn't. Just
does.
if I may, if I may.
It's like people like you and her
Yeah.
that are creating this fucking situation.
Okay. So, but does that absolve?
Nobody needed to adopt you or Haley, did they?
No.
Yeah.
Listen.
No, so shut it up right now.
No.
Yeah.
The question is, regardless of who you think is responsible for this situation, there are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe
True.
kids who are born into
True.
horrible
And
situations.
So why isn't your listener out shooting those fuckers?
What?
She believes in killing babies. Let's kill the kids.
No, she didn't say she believed
She
in
never
abortion.
said that.
I don't think.
She did too.
No, she did not.
She said,
She
do
did.
pro-life, the question is, do pro-life people have any obligation to help
No,
raise
absolutely
or
not.
foster the children that come
People-
from the situations
The
they're
people who are
creating.
pro-abortion have responsibility for them.
No,
What?
I think
The people who are
Yes,
pro-abortion want
that's
to
right.
abort them.
Yeah.
quit yelling, please. I think our government should be supportive of them instead of people from other countries and children from other countries.
Mhm.
Take care of our own first.
Plenty of money.
But if you're pro-life, you believe no child should be aborted, right? Abortion should be completely illegal.
That's true.
So if somebody has
unless for the safety, the health safety of the mother or the child.
Okay,
You
so
guys
let's say
You are forcing people to have children they do not want. You should therefore have to be
Then they
responsible.
need to
then
have
they ought to close their fucking legs and use
That
fucking
otherwise
birth control.
hang on one second. I just got a little technical issue. Haley, because you are on an iPhone, your audio is going to cut out anytime anybody else is talking. So you've got to wait until no one else is talking. If you talk over
Woo!
anyone, we won't be able to hear you. My
Go ahead,
sister's
Haley.
computer broke, so now she's on an iPhone. So
Talk.
what were you saying, Haley?
They're completely missing the point. You are forcing people to have babies that they do not fucking want. If they don't exist, they're not in the system. But you want them to exist because you don't believe in abortion. Therefore, the system is basically being put in place because of people like you. You should be responsible for having to care for these kids that are in the fucking system.
So I've got to take responsibility for your
Yeah.
irresponsibility of getting pregnant. Bullshit.
Irresponsibility.
Bullshit.
What about people who are raped?
Bullshit.
What,
Hello?
Chad?
I said irresponsibility. What about people who are raped?
How many of those are there out of your 85,000 or whatever the fuck it is?
If there's
Minute.
one of those situations, it
Then
means
our-
that situation exists. And what do we do with it? How
Our
does society
Gotta look into it.
Our
See
government.
what happens.
gotta
our
look into
government-
it? Okay.
Women
Spoken
yell
like
rape. Women yell
Jesus
rape
Christ.
at the drop of a peanut now.
Okay. Then our
What?
government takes.
Yes, every woman in America has been raped. Just ask them.
Then our
Jesus
government
Christ.
steps up and takes care of our children that no one else wants.
Mhm.
That's what should be happening, not paying for the illegal people coming into our country.
This is not about illegal people. This is
No,
about. It's a
but
very
that's where
simple
our
question.
That's
Well,
where
you're
our
not-
government.
You're not paying attention to us. This
No,
wouldn't be.
You're
an
not
issue
even
if-
answering the question. You're
Well, yeah.
turning it into other weird political shit that
yelling.
has nothing to do
Quit
with that.
yelling.
There is
Oh,
a
it
situation.
does.
I'm going to ask
Oh,
you
it
this.
does.
There's a situation that exists. Let's boil it down to the finest points here. Let's say there's two people who are a pro-life husband and wife. And then let's say somebody gets pregnant, doesn't want to have that kid, can't get an abortion because they live in a state where it's now illegal. They have the child and give it up for adoption. Who should adopt that child?
The child needs to go to a government
There's plenty of
agency
people who want
or
kids.
a service, a Catholic social service, a Baptist social service, some type of a service, either church affiliated or government
And by the way,
affiliated.
who's not going to ever adopt these kids? You fucking abortion pros. You'll never adopt them.
I believe in life.
You
Abortion
fucking
pros.
50-year-old people who don't want kids. You're not adopting them.
I believe in life.
So the only person
Yeah,
who
no
could is
shit.
pro-life.
I'm not pro-life.
Only pro-life people have the opportunity to adopt them, and you want to get rid of them.
And they don't
your
do it.
listeners, Your listeners that are on your side of the fence are dumber than shit.
Okay, stop.
They're also your listeners.
No,
Yes.
they're not
Stop.
mine. I don't claim any of those idiots.
I believe
Okay.
everyone has a chance to be born.
And oh, by the
and
way,
have a life.
When the metal starts meeting the meat, I will not walk off to the gulag. You will have to fucking kill me.
Everyone
I'm going to make a
has-
prediction right now for you, Dad. You will never fire a gun at a human being, nor will you be threatened with such. You will never be threatened with walking into a gulag.
Oh,
There will
write
be no
that
military action
motherfucker down.
taken against you or your home or your family.
Write that
ever.
motherfucker down.
Writing it down right now. And how long do we have to go
Wow.
until you will accept this prediction?
Well, I'll be dead, and then you won't have to worry about it.
Okay.
You woke up, Kitty. He woke up.
Hang on, I'm writing this down. No military action ever taken against dads.
It's not military.
On June 18th.
It will be civilians.
Okay.
It won't
I'll
be
say no
military.
military or civilian action.
I'm a civilian.
Yeah,
I
I
will
know.
take action.
Please don't yell.
Okay.
can't-
Let's move
yeah.
on. We've gotten fired up. Thank you very much for your question. Again, if anyone wants to send in a question, 1 minute or shorter audio clip, email
New
it to
Jersey fool.
Email it to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com. First topic of today's program is Greg Abbott's trans sports ban. Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott signed a law Thursday barring transgender college athletes in his state from competing in sports that align with their gender identity, expanding a 2010 law that banned transgender students in K through 12 Texas school districts and some charter schools from doing the same.
Won't say another word.
Abbott framed Senate Bill 15, titled Save Women's Sports Act, as designed to protect female athletes from unfair competition. The new law, which takes effect September 1st, allows individuals to sue institutions that allow trans athletes to compete on teams that align with their gender identity, limiting transgender athletes, particularly transgender women's, ability to compete on sports teams that align with their gender identity has become a growing focus for some Republicans, with Alabama enacting restrictions last month and the U.S. House passing a similar ban in April. Supporters of trans bans in sports have argued transgender women have a physical advantage over cisgender women and that the regulations give female athletes equal opportunities to compete. However, there is little research on trans collegiate athletes. A 2017 report in the journal Sports Medicine found, in quotes, no direct or consistent research on trans people having an athletic advantage over their cisgender counterparts. The new law comes after Abbott signed a ban on gender-affirming care for most minors in the state earlier this month, making Texas the largest state in the United States to place restrictions on transgender youth's access to critical care. Both bans are part of a larger push by GOP-controlled assemblies across the United States to place limits on transgender people, with the ACLU recording over 490 anti-LGBTQ bills that have been introduced this session. Okay, we've talked about this a few other times. I want to throw the first question to Mom and Dad.
Yes.
You believe trans athletes should be banned from sports?
Yes.
I'm gonna give you my
Yes.
opinion quick, because then I have to go let Kitty out. Here's what I think. If you have a vagina and you're a woman, you play women's sports. If you're a guy with a penis and balls, then you play men's
No, if you were
sports.
born that way.
Yes, born that way, both ways. Then if you choose to change your gender, then we need to have a third sport for
A
trans.
trans league.
Yeah,
Yes.
where
That's what I believe.
where
Okay.
pussy men can play against other pussy men.
Okay. I gotta go.
Are there activities outside of athletics that you believe trans people should be banned from?
Who you asking me?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, everything.
What would it be? other than
Everything.
sport?
Everything.
What does that mean?
Means they have no rights
Oh my God.
Now, why do you think that?
because they're less than 1% of the population. I don't give a rat's ass what happens to them.
You're less than 1% of the population. You should have no rights.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're a one person. You're an individual among
That's right.
8 billion.
But my group is not 1% of the population. And 1% of the population should not be making the rules and regulations and the laws that we live in. Period.
They're not.
I don't give a shit.
Oh
I
my
don't
God,
give a
we've
shit
been
what
through
your
this.
opinion is. I'm giving you mine. You asked my opinion. I'm giving you my
Okay.
fucking opinion.
All right.
They don't fucking matter.
Okay. I disagree. Haley,
Well,
question.
good. Disagree your ass off. You're a communist.
All right. Haley, question to you. Will this moment in history, with all these trans bans and all this discriminatory law being passed, will this moment in history be looked back on with disbelief in some future that fully accepts trans athletes in sports? Or do you think this debate is going to continue forever?
I mean, I think, like society is treating trans people right now like they did gay people,
Yeah.
40, 50, 60 years ago. So I do think at some point that it will all normalize. Trans people will be accepted. They will have equality in most regards. But the sports issue for me is actually pretty gray because, like you said, nobody has studied this shit. Nobody fucking knows. I don't know how to feel about it because I don't have statistics and facts. But like Do they have an advantage? I'm not sure. I've never played
Well,
against
some
a
cases do. And I mean, I think this is the thing that gets like really thrown in everybody's face is Leah Thomas, the college swimmer who transitioned later and had kind of a full physique of what, you know, looked to be way more masculine and was dominating everybody. But from everything I've read, that is rare. That's a super
Right.
Oh, it
exception
is.
to the
How
case.
about the volleyball player that broke the girl's face?
I'm sure all kinds of people get
Rare again.
broken noses in volleyball games.
No.
Is that
no.
player excessively dominant in that sport? I don't know.
Yes.
It's
Look.
also, you know,
How about the guy that just won the bike race?
the percentage of trans athletes is also
That's a woman now.
that
So,
Why
Dad, when
there's-
you hang on 1 second, Haley, hang on 1 second. Dad, when you talk over her, it cuts off her audio
I got it.
because she's on an iPhone. So you got to let her talk when she's talking.
All
Okay,
right.
go ahead, Haley.
Shut up, communist.
the percentage of trans athletes, specifically like transgender women in sports, is so low that, you know, we keep saying there's no statistics, there's no studies done. So it's hard for me to articulate how I really feel about it because I don't have any fucking factual information. But like you said, the one instance that we always bring up is the swimmer, and you know, that's not always the case. And
Yeah.
this gender affirming care is important because kids are trying to, you know, stunt their puberty as a boy, you know, with all the testosterone in their body because they feel like girls, they are trans girls. And that is an important step in this fucking scenario where it completely plays a part in how you mature. And so if you're not allowing these kids at younger ages to kind of stunt their puberty as, you know, with all the testosterone that comes with growing up as a boy, you're giving them the opportunity, in my opinion, to play transgender sports if you kind of stunt that puberty and allow them the blockers that would, you know, help them become trans girls in a more biological capacity.
Mom,
Why not give them time with their growing bodies to figure it out a few years later past 16?
because
then
they've already had, as Haley's saying, a bunch of testosterone. There are all kinds of things that start happening when you're going through puberty. And if you
Oh,
know that
really?
you are going to transition into another gender, it's best to stop those things.
Anybody
as
under
soon
the
as you
age
can.
of 16 doesn't know. Anybody under the age of 16 doesn't know.
Well,
no way.
we're talking about trans athletes. We're not getting into the broader issue of trans healthcare here, at least in
Okay.
this topic. So I'm going to ask each of you, what is the solution for trans athletes? What do we do here? Mom,
I already told you.
trans
the girls,
league.
yes, a trans
Okay.
league.
Dad, yours is no rights, no human rights given to anyone who's trans.
If you're gonna transgender yourself,
Yeah.
you have no right to play sports against the opposite
Opposite.
sex.
Okay. Haley?
That you were born.
I mean, I feel like it comes down to a more scientific approach, like potentially testing testosterone levels, shit like that. I
Right.
don't know. You know, I don't know.
Here is the real solution. The reason people are so afraid of this, I think, is because of videos like you see with what you're talking about, Dad, the volleyball game where somebody gets their nose broke, seeing Leah Thomas dominating. What we never see are video highlight clips, or low light clips, I should say, of trans athletes playing like shit. That's what we need. We need a YouTube video of about 15 to 20 trans athletes who suck at their sports. Put that out on YouTube, let that go viral, and then no one will give a shit. And everybody will be like, oh, it's fine. They're just as bad as my stupid little kid who's cisgendered. All right. Now let's move on to our next topic. Even after indictments, Trump is leading in 3 new polls. In 3 new GOP polls last week, Trump remains well ahead of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, both nationally and in the states that will vote earliest in the nominating process. The rest of the field is far behind Trump and DeSantis in single digits. Trump leads DeSantis by at least 30 points in all 3 of these polls that were conducted mostly or entirely after the news of the federal indictment broke, and he's narrowly above 50% in each of the surveys from The Messenger, where he's at 53%. The Quinnipiac poll is 53%. The Economist poll is 51%. On the day of Trump's first indictment, he was at 46% in the national real clear politics average, with DeSantis at 30%. Within a week of the indictment, Trump was over 50%. He gained points. He now leads DeSantis 52 to 21% in that poll. But Trump's sustained strength in the GOP primary seems to be at odds with the tone of the overall electorate. A new NPR PBS NewsHour Marist College poll conducted after the indictment with voters of both parties found a majority of registered voters want Trump to drop out of the race. And roughly half, 49% of them, believe he did break the law, consistent with other surveys showing Americans broadly concerned about Trump's conduct. So what does this say about Republican voters that Trump's numbers have gone up after a federal indictment? Mom.
We're tired of it. We're sick of it. This is nothing but political to try to put the limelight on this outrageous, crazy indictment to take away from the Biden crime family that they took. And I'm not saying the what ifs, because I know you always say, what if? They're taking the limelight away from the Biden crime family, taking in $30 million from the other countries. He has sold us out. That's what I feel.
So the question again was, what does it say about Republican voters that the numbers have gone up since being indicted? And you're saying we're mad, we don't believe any of this.
That's correct.
That they still back Trump and he's going to win, and they can't wait for it.
And you'll kill me before I let you be a communist.
Okay.
You called me a communist.
Yeah. You're already there.
You're okay. But
you're already there.
Still.
But let me reiterate. The country is not already there.
Okay.
And people like me, you're going to have to kill people like me to finish the job.
I'm not going to kill anyone. Haley, what do
Well, then you ain't going to finish the job because we're going to war.
Then the job will be unfinished. Haley, what do you think it says about Republican voters that Trump's numbers have gone up since a federal indictment?
And he raised $7 million in 2 days.
You can't talk like talks.
They literally don't give a shit. Donald Trump could he could murder someone on camera. They're still voting for him.
Yeah, it's a cult.
So he will be our next president.
Well, I mean, look, I think there's some very interesting shit that's going to start happening. Our last topic today is about his trials that are coming up, of which there are 4, and how those might affect his polling numbers.
How come you never talk about the upcoming trials for Biden?
Send me the links, Mom. As I tell you both every episode, if you want to produce one or more segments in this show,
if we want to defend Trump and let the Biden crime family go unchecked, just shut our mouth or do it ourselves.
Do it yourself. I produce this show every week. It's not easy to write all these things, to find out what the big news stories are, to get you guys all on here, to get Haley's camera working.
I haven't heard you one time say let's put the pressure on the FBI and the DOJ to investigate the Bidens. You haven't said that once.
I have said it multiple times.
No,
he's under investigation right now. His son. I don't like Biden either. I believe he is committing crimes. I don't think he's a good politician. I want him out. I don't want him to be part of the American political system anymore.
I will have a segment on that for the next one.
How much more clear can I be?
And I think what's funny this week.
And then your whole show is about Donald Trump.
Okay, be quiet. And I think what's funny this
week. Don't lie about that, because it's the goddamn truth.
Because those are the biggest news stories.
No.
This week,
yes, they are.
Only on cable news networks that are all going down the shitter.
I'll make you a deal.
God.
If you send me a topic and even one link to it from anything, can be from Newsmax, can be from any of the weird fucking websites you look at. Just send me a topic, and
you're the one that looks.
This is going to require you. This will require you.
You get 90%
use your cellular telephone.
You get 90% of your information from that ignorant pygmy that he puts up there on the goddamn podium and gives.
And now
press releases.
you're disengaging. But here's what I'm telling you: if you send me a topic and even one link, I will put it in the show. Whatever you want.
Okay.
You have to do about 5 minutes of work. I'll do the rest.
I would like to say this. What I think is kind of outstanding this week, more of the, not prime time, but people in the news now are starting to question Biden as he's walking away from speeches or he's walking away in public.
Calling them stupid.
And he
He
turns
is. He's
and he'll
senile.
say,
He can barely
No,
speak.
he called the reporter stupid for asking the question.
and he also
Yeah.
said malarkey. He said, that's malarkey.
He doesn't give a shit. And we've talked about this. There should be an age limit, at least for fucking president, if not for Senate and Congress, because he doesn't give a fuck.
And there should
That
be
guy's
a
gonna be
rope
dead
to
in 5
hang
years.
a
He knows that.
treasonous asshole.
All right.
I firmly believe any politician who is in the last 5 to 10 years of their life, which Biden almost certainly is,
Yes.
they have no reason to give a fuck about the future of anything because they're not going to
Right.
be here for it. He's in
Yeah.
it for a cash grab. So is Trump. Anybody that
He
age
sold
is.
us out.
Now,
Biden.
let me move on to another question about the same topic. DeSantis's numbers are falling. Does that mean anything ultimately? Do you think his ship is already sunk, Mom?
Yes.
Yes, I think he just threw his name in the running, like we said, due to like he can get 200 million to spend as he wants, go out to dinner where he wants, and whatever. He might be trying still to get Trump on board with him as a running mate, but now I doubt it.
He realistically knows he has no chance.
Trump will go with a woman, probably the Arizona.
I'm hoping
Carrie
he
Lake.
picks Carrie Lake.
Yeah, probably Carrie Lake.
But even if Trump wins, in quotes, wins all the primaries, the Republican National Committee could still just appoint a nominee that's not him.
Don't bet on it.
I'm not saying that's
That-
likely, but it's possible.
That would be mutiny, and that would not happen, I don't think, with the
Well, we'll
party.
see.
We're going to get rid of the rhinos. Mitch
right.
McConnell will be one of the first people out the fucking door.
Haley, question to you. If Trump is found guilty of a crime, literally found guilty in one of these trials, let's say it's the federal criminal trial that's going on right now with all of the, however many documents spilled in his bathroom shower at Mar-a-Lago.
That
If
was
he's-
staged by the FBI.
All right. If he's found guilty, do you think it will affect his numbers? Do you think his numbers will go up if he is convicted of a felony?
Yes, I do. They're fucking crazy. It's
Yeah.
all bullshit. None of it's real. Dad just said planted by the FBI.
Yeah.
Like they don't believe it. And even if they did, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit.
Just like you.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
You don't care that he's guilty of crimes.
He's not.
Oh my God.
Been proven over and over and over.
Is there any crime that he could commit or be charged of that you would ever think might be real at this point?
Here's the problem. We will
Not-
never
it-
we will never know because everything is being hid from everyone.
and it's
That
live.
they're only telling us what the Democratic side wants to tell.
2 years of impeachment, all now proven to be nothing but lies.
Mhm.
And I can remember back in 2016.
So why would we not believe that this is a lie?
I can remember I think it was the debate between Trump and Biden in 2016.
Mhm.
And Trump brought up, hey, your son, he's a loser. He does this and that. What about that laptop? And again, that's malarkey. Shut up.
Got kicked
Way
out of the
back then.
military for being a drug addict.
Yeah, and Trump hung out with Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, visited his
So?
island multiple times.
So
that island had one purpose.
What ifs?
They had
What
child
ifs?
sex slaves there, and rich
Oh,
and
yeah?
powerful elite had sex with children.
yes, and Joe Biden probably owns
Paid for
most
'em.
of them.
Joe Biden
Which
has no
he's-
connections to it. Bill Clinton does.
Oh yes, he does.
Joe
Um,
Biden has 85,000 children. We don't know where they are, the illegals.
Okay.
They're saying that he is.
I'm not defending Joe Biden. I
Well,
think he's a
hold
piece
on.
of shit
You-
too.
You know what? Now here's your fucking problem.
Okay.
Oh God.
You rape and pillage Donald Trump on information that has been proven over the last 2 to 3 years to be totally false. Now
What
you
information?
jump on
The Epstein shit.
Huh?
The Epstein shit's
No,
true.
I mean, hell, big deal. So he went there. Doesn't mean
Big
he
deal.
did anything.
You guys are always talking about children. We
listen,
like the
but
children. We're
now
pro-life.
wait.
Trans
All
kids
right,
shouldn't
well,
be able to do this
that's
fucking shit.
fucking-
No, you hang on. You hang on. You're constantly talking about how you want to protect the children. Donald Trump literally multiple times went to an island where rich people rape children. Multiple times he went there. That's the only purpose for that island.
Did he rape anybody?
Yeah. Do we
Are
have
you
proof
fucking
of that?
kidding? Yes.
Do we have
No,
proof of
that's-
that?
you can't
being
prove it.
accused He
And you
fucking
know what
lost
you
his
are?
sexual
You're
assault
another,
case. He
you're
lost
another
a
fucking
sexual
media
assault case.
disinformation. You stupid shit.
Wait,
He
You
lost a
convict
sexual
you
assault case, so he's a
you
loser. I like people who win
you
sexual assault
convict Trump
cases.
about everything this bullshit society throws out there. Everything you fuckers have said he did 4 years ago came out to be total shit.
Except raping children.
Yeah, except raping children,
That he
Okay.
did.
which you can't fucking prove either.
Biden sniffs some all the
Can't
time.
You can't prove that either, you stupid shit.
Quit yelling.
Can't prove doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Yeah, it does.
Quit yelling.
I need
Okay.
proof. I need
right.
proof. I can prove Joe Biden took $30 million from
How?
our enemies.
Do it then.
It's on the tapes.
Yeah, they have.
What
And they're
tapes.
coming.
They have tapes.
You'll see.
Is
Chad.
this a prediction?
Yes.
No, FBI is hiding it from us.
Okay.
But the GOP is about to turn the tables on those motherfuckers.
Okay.
All right. We've gotten very worked up. Let's try and simmer down here now. A little
I
bit
ain't
with a
simmering down,
non-political.
you communists.
Please.
I'm going to fucking war, and I'm taking some of the communists with me.
All right. I'll make another prediction right now. You're not going to war. Okay. So here's our simmer down question. We're going to start with Mom. Do you believe in reincarnation?
I believe in spiritual like signs that in regard, I guess, to animals maybe coming back. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I know Christianity doesn't believe in reincarnation, but there are like faith or religions in the Indian world. I think the Indian people do believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can come back either in a person or an animal or plant form. So I do believe in some of that. Yeah, I do. Yes.
Okay. Dad, do you believe in reincarnation?
That your soul
No.
is your soul reborn again.
I think you go to heaven or hell after you die.
Christian heaven or hell?
Yeah, you don't come back here.
So you believe Jesus and his father God is sitting on a throne in heaven, you meet them, or you go to a hell ruled by
Purgatory.
Satan, the
You
fallen
go to
angel?
purgatory.
Correct. And that's why
Okay.
I told you a while back, if you believe in God, or if you believe in the devil,
Yeah.
you have to believe in God.
Okay. Well, I mean, Satan is an angel.
Was.
Right. Haley, do you believe in reincarnation?
No, I don't.
Interesting.
So you take a dirt nap
Like
and you're
your
done.
You know, like you can upload your consciousness into like AI and shit and you're still here, things like
Mhm.
that. Potentially that kind of shit. But reincarnated like as a fucking daisy or a beetle or some shit, no.
Or another person.
No, I don't believe in reincarnation like that. No.
Do you believe in spiritual signs? Like people say, if I see a feather, that means things, or if I
No.
see a hummingbird.
I think that it's almost like self-fulfilling prophecy. You are thinking of those things,
Mhm.
therefore you're more likely to see those things. I think it's Occam's razor. I don't really believe that like you're given signs, from your loved ones or the heavens or whatever. I think that, you associate butterflies with somebody, then you are looking for those butterflies subconsciously, like 24/7. It's people with
Okay.
like little numbers, different animals, like all those signs, that you perceive to be from your loved ones, in my opinion, are just kind of sitting there in your mind. You're thinking about it, more likely to see it.
I think it's because you have not experienced any of those before. When our Max died, probably 3 months later, Kitty and I were in the backyard and I was thinking about Max and I talked to Kitty. She was sitting beside me. She was looking for Max. All of a sudden, a hummingbird. And we've lived here 10 years. I've only seen 3 hummingbirds. This hummingbird flew out of nowhere, went over her head, came down about 2 inches from her nose. She lifted up, looked at it, and I go, oh my God. And up it went into the air. It was Max. That's what I believe.
All right. So you do believe in reincarnation. I tend to as well. Now, I watched a show that was called Surviving Death on Netflix. Most of it is complete bullshit. Watch the final episode if you have a chance. It's about reincarnation. They have kids. Basically, they say that little kids are more prone to have the memories still in their minds from a past life, and as you get older, start creating your own memories in this life. The old version of you, the reincarnated person, kind of like slips out of the mix. But they have some kids on there that are saying crazy shit, very specific shit about this was my mommy, this was my old daddy, and they have people doing tests on them, like a psychologist goes and holds up all these pictures and says, okay, do any of these people look familiar to you? And it's like, that's my old daddy, that's my old mommy, that's my old house. Immediately answering these questions in a field of multiple images, 100% accuracy. Knowing things about these people's lives that there's no possible way they could have known. All of that is insane. What you're talking about, Mom, the animal spirit guide thing is also in this show. They have these two women whose mom died. They're old ladies at this point. And they told the mom in life, in her final days, if you can come back as a cardinal. There is video of these women going out in front. I believe it was after her funeral or after her wake at the house. They go out into the fucking yard. A cardinal comes and fucking lands on this woman's shoulder. They try to like pick it off the shoulder, and they're like, okay, fly away. And the thing will fly and come right back to the fucking shoulder. Shit like this. I'm just saying I think it's possible. And I think that we know very little about reality, human consciousness. We know almost nothing about it. Is this possible? I think so. Yes.
I think it is.
Answer.
So what should I come back as? What would you like for me
Send
to
us a
be,
sign.
Haley?
What kind of sign do you want to
Sad?
send us?
I don't know.
I think
What would it
butterfly
be?
is apropos. You like them a lot.
I know, but there's so many butterflies.
All
could
right.
just
You want to
say,
do
yeah.
something very specific?
Horse.
A horse?
Okay. You have to come back as a horse, and you have to somehow meet me on a city street as a horse.
We'll say horse or butterfly. Horse or butterfly.
Well, I mean, butterfly's a little
Or
easier to
both.
do. Horse, I think, could be anything. Could be a police horse. Just has to be a horse, and you have to
Okay.
meet me on a city street, and I'll know that it's you. All right. Moving on.
Yes.
Moving on to our third topic, the DOJ report on the Minneapolis Police Department. A 2-year-long Department of Justice investigation into the Minneapolis Police Department has concluded with a finding of a pattern of, in quotes, excessive force, including unjustified deadly force, racial discrimination, and civil rights violations, all of which created the conditions that led to George Floyd's murder. The DOJ launched the investigation in April 2021 after Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted of murdering George Floyd in the year prior by pinning his knee to Floyd's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. The federal probe found systemic problems in the department, including unlawful discrimination against Black and Native American people. Attorney General Merrick Garland said, in quote, "The patterns and practices we observed made what happened to George Floyd possible." The investigation found numerous incidents in which officers responded to a person's claim that they were unable to breathe by telling them some version of, "You can breathe, you're talking right now," according to the report. The report also details a pattern of violating the First Amendment rights of protesters and journalists and discrimination against people with behavioral health disabilities when responding to assistance calls in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey called the release of the report, in quotes, an essential step forward for community trust and community safety. Dad, was this investigation into the practices of the Minnesota Police Department necessary?
No.
Mom?
I'm not for sure. I think there's good cops and bad cops. So
But it seems like a bunch of bad cops, and even the whole system in Minneapolis that was training the cops, seems like all of it was bad, is what this report is saying, and that it was so bad, it led to the conditions that existed to even allow something like George Floyd's murder to happen. Haley,
Yeah.
do you think this investigation was necessary?
Yeah, 100%. And probably in every other fucking precinct and every other fucking city that exists right now.
Dad, do you think the findings in this report are accurate?
Hell no.
Mom?
I
Is she
would
there?
say,
What's going on?
Came from Merrick Garland. That guy's a fucking loser.
but if that's like one specific case, why does the whole
He's still pissed off that he couldn't get on the Supreme Court.
why does the whole shooting match have to be investigated? You know, I don't know.
What do you mean?
There's good cops and bad cops, so I don't know.
And no cops is worse than bad cops.
Yeah, defund the police. That's so stupid.
Yeah, go ahead and
Okay.
throw those eyeballs up there.
We're not talking about defunding the police. We're talking about reforming the way this police department specifically and potentially many others
No.
work.
Absolutely
Yes,
not.
if they're bad, yes. I don't like bad cops.
Do you believe that Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd, Dad?
No.
Okay, it's on video. You've seen the video?
Okay, he didn't murder him.
What would you call that then?
I don't know, maybe manslaughter. Best case.
Okay, Mom, do you believe it was murdered?
No, I really don't.
Why?
He didn't go out there
He
to
was
kill that
holding
guy.
him. Yeah.
But he
And the
did
guy
kill
was a
him.
goddamn drug addict anyway. How in the hell you know what he's going to do to you?
What was in his system? Didn't they find more drugs in his system?
He was a drug addict criminal.
Okay.
He was fucking handcuffed on his
Yes.
stomach with his face down.
Yelling for his mommy.
With a lot of drugs in his body too, that causes your body to do different things.
Okay. A, I'm not sure that's accurate, but B, even if it is, let's say he had every drug on the planet going through his body. Why does that mean it's okay to kill him?
It's okay to
No.
hold him down
No, yeah.
because you don't know what he's going to fucking do to you because
Those-
he's off on a binge.
Those drugs
Okay,
could have
well-
killed him.
It's
That's
been
what I'm
proven
saying.
he
No,
was
that's
full
not
of
what
drugs.
killed him. There was an autopsy. What killed him
Yeah.
was Derek Chauvin kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
While he was saying,
You,
help me, Mom, I'm dying.
You give the police a bunch of shit, you get what you get.
Okay. So you then, I guess, are not for police reform, not for a safer world.
No.
Well, let's bring up.
We'd have a safer world if we had police reform that let them do their fucking job without being carted off to jail for an accident.
So-
Now that we're talking about the subject, how about the subway incident where the ex-Marine
Yep.
did tackle Michael Jackson impersonator guy down,
Yeah.
and all that's going down to where now that guy who was trying to save people around him and himself
So my theory
is
is
being indicted.
seems like black criminals are susceptible to being choked out.
What?
I don't even
How
know
is
what
that your
I'm
theory?
saying.
What, I don't
That's
understand
two
what
of
you
them.
mean.
Two of them got choked out. Now we're all bad.
But
It's
you,
like,
the
why get
guy on the
involved?
subway wasn't a criminal.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he is a lot of
38 felonies,
Yeah.
all kinds of shit. He threatened people on the fucking subway. He was going to kill them. Didn't care if he
And
went
didn't
to
he
jail.
break a lady's nose?
So the Marine took him down, put a chokehold on him, and just like Floyd, he couldn't take it and he died.
Couldn't
Tough shit.
take it.
Tough shit.
Okay. Wow. Haley, what do you think should be done in terms of reforming the police system in America? It's obviously broken. It's obviously a gross abuse of power in many of these police departments. And we have this over militarization of the cops where you've got companies that make weapons of war selling their off stock back to police departments after the U.S. military has gotten what it needs. That's how a lot of these companies are now making money. What should we be doing instead?
Send in the mental.
don't- Or sway. I think clearly you have to go through like some psych evals, all kinds of testing to become a police officer. That needs to be more rigorous. Actually, not all cops are bad cops. I have had to talk to some cops recently and it was a positive experience. I was actually pleasantly surprised by the things that they said to me. Because I have a lot of questions, and the ones that I had to deal with were very fucking professional. The shit that they were talking about in Dad's words were quite woke, actually. So it was a very positive experience. Nonetheless, I do think reform needs to happen. Like access to fucking money for guns. All the school shootings and shit in Texas is just everyone here is sick about fucking Uvalde happened, and Greg Abbott said, you know what? Let's just give them more money, more guns. Those cops didn't do fucking shit. So at what point, like, what kind of screenings do you give people trying to be in the fucking police force? What do you have to pass? I don't fucking know, because they didn't do shit. They let all those kids die. A whole fucking police force. and they were armed and they had all the fucking bulletproof vests and weapons and the shit you rammed. They had everything they needed to stop one fucking shooter, and they just sat on it. So, I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I couldn't fucking tell you. I don't know. I'm at a loss.
I have the answer. The answer is mandatory policing service for every U.S. citizen when they turn 75. The entire police force is made up of 75-year-old American citizens, all forced to do that job. They're all generally retired at that point. You're going to have less likelihood for people to be highly aggressive as cops. I think by that time, other than you, Dad, you'll probably at 75 still be full of rage. Usually at that time, I think people calm down a little bit, and we will have less of these incidents. That is my solution to it. 75-year-old police force nationwide. I think it solves a lot of problems.
Oh, God.
Moving on to our final topic. Trump's trials. As the presidential race is starting to heat up, Trump faces 4 trials over a 6-month span during a critical phase of his 2024 campaign. On Thursday, a federal judge set a date of January 15th, 2024, for a trial over a defamation lawsuit brought against Trump by writer E. Jean Carroll. It will be sandwiched between 3 other Trump trials, 2 civil and 1 criminal. This October, Trump and his company are already set to go on trial in a civil fraud lawsuit brought by the New York Attorney General. On January 29th, 2024, a trial is scheduled in a federal class action lawsuit accusing Trump and his company of promoting a pyramid scheme. And on March 25th, 2024, he'll face a jury on New York State criminal charges that he falsified business records in connection with a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. The run of trials will occur during a pivotal period in the presidential race. Campaigns will be in full swing, and primary voting is scheduled to begin in early 2024. He's going to be literally on trial while primary voting is going on. No trial date has been set for Trump's latest and perhaps most serious case, the federal indictment in the Southern District of Florida for allegedly hoarding classified documents and obstructing the government's attempts to get them back, which he did. So he's got these trials coming up. This is unprecedented. We've obviously never seen this before. A presidential candidate, former president, by the way, going for a second term during his campaign, literally as primaries are happening. People are voting for the fucking Republican nominee. One of them, the front runner, is going to be in federal court. Will the coverage of these trials backfire on liberal media like their treatment of him as a clown did last time around? Or are they just going to give him more screen time, and will it actually bolster his run for presidency? Mom.
I think it will make him more popular. It will give him more points. It will make him our next president because people know this is all crazy.
I mean, the tonnage of it is starting to feel like that.
Yes.
I think the more trials they slap on him, the more it becomes like, Jesus Christ, I get it. You know, it does start to, I can see how a person might start to get burnt out by it and just be like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But he's going to be in your face 24/7. And that is how he won the last election.
That will make him more popular. Yes.
Dad, what do you think?
I saw today
on
the liberal news, they were making fun of him because he went inside that restaurant and they sang happy birthday to him. He gave people all the food. They made fun of him for that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one that said like food for everybody and then walked out and didn't cover the tab? Is that the one? Was that what you're thinking about?
He said, everybody, I'm buying everybody's dinner. And then he left and didn't pay.
I'm sure he paid.
No, he didn't.
Okay. I'll find the information.
I'm sure his Secret Service did.
Okay. Dad, what do you think of all these trials going on? Do you think it's going to help or hurt him?
I think they will absolutely put him over the top. And here's why.
Okay.
We're already solidified. You're never going to get a single MAGA person to vote against him. What you are going to find is more and more Republicans are getting so fucking sick of rhinos that you're either going to have to jump on the train with MAGA, or you're going to lose your position in the next election.
Well,
and Trump will be your president. Multi-millions of dollars are going to flow into his campaign. All this shit going on in courts, All his lawyers are going to do is keep filing motions to push this shit down the road. And the fat black man in New York doesn't mean shit to anybody. He's done. That motherfucker's done. This federal shit, it won't hold up in court, and they're going to keep filing motions. And there's 37 counts. They can put a motion on every one of them that'll take months. By the time the election rolls around, you won't even know about this shit anymore. It'll be swept under the bridge because nobody's ever going. Trump is never going to go to trial for this shit.
He's already gone to trial.
For the federal indictment.
And he lost for the sexual
No,
assault
I'm talking
case.
about the federal indictment he's got right now. He'll never go to jail for any of that.
Okay.
My bet is he will never be prosecuted for any of that shit because the FBI is about to go under the gun and they're going to have to give up the goods and everybody's going to know it was a political rape job
on Biden.
And it's going to all flip and go against Biden. You're going to see Trump's and Biden's. It was 2% before the indictment. It's 6% now. I will bet it's going to be over 20% by the time we get to the election.
What will?
Trump's lead over Biden.
Okay. Interesting.
Because you're going to lose half your communists on this deal.
But well, let me ask you this though. You were talking about like Republicans getting sick of MAGA voter or getting sick of rhinos, or MAGA voters, sorry, getting sick of rhinos. Who do you think? And you said all MAGA people are going to vote for Trump. I agree with that. Who do you think Trump can actually get to vote for him that hasn't already made the decision they're going to? Can he?
Tons of people.
Who?
Tons of people.
Who? No one on the left.
A lot of people that have been listening to these rhinos and watching them sell us down the river to the Democrats, like on the package that they just passed and all that shit.
Sure.
People are fucking tired of it. And none of those are MAGA
Trump.
People.
Trump is a different kind of candidate.
None of those are MAGA people. They're Republicans that have had enough bullshit from the GOP liberals, and there are some. They're all rhinos. Most Republicans, half the Republicans that have been listening to that bullshit have had enough of it. You're going to see the MAGA movement double.
But to double it, that means you've got to start getting some Democrats in there.
And independents. You will.
But
you're going to see some of your communist buddies turn their back on you.
There is absolutely no way anyone who voted for a Democrat is going to vote for Donald Trump.
You're wrong.
Okay. I guess that's the end of that conversation. You're wrong.
Write that down.
Let's
start keeping track of your predictions. No Democrat will vote for Trump. I will bet you right now that prediction's wrong.
Of course, there's going to be certain Democrats that vote for Trump, and there's going to be certain MAGA people who vote for Joe Biden. But both of those are no. Like you said, just like you said, I'm going to use your fucking logic right back on you. It's such a small percentage of the population; they don't fucking matter.
Oh,
let's see if we have a listener that's a Democrat that will turn and vote for Trump. Call in, please.
Well, you won't because they all come from California
or
New
video
York.
in. Yeah. However,
the only people that respond to them are against us, and they all live in either California or New York, and New Jersey's just what do you call it? A suburb of New York.
And everybody that hates us, I guess we're doing our job. There you
go. Haley, I have a question for you. Will you watch coverage of a Trump trial?
Yes. Yeah.
Same. And that's the problem.
I will.
He is a good TV show.
I perceive Donald Trump as like, I honestly can't believe this shit is real, that mom and dad are buying it. They're eating it up. I don't understand how a rational fucking person can buy into this shit. He's like lips manless. He's like fucking a Dick Tracy character. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you that fucking dumb that you're watching this shit transpire and like,
I don't think
you're cool with it? What the fuck?
I don't think it's about being smart or dumb or not. I think it's about how really it all boils down to media. It's about these for-profit giant media companies, the news companies specifically, that have figured out exactly what to do to keep your fucking eyeballs on that screen. And for a certain percentage of the population, that is drum up the fucking fear of China, of the country being invaded, of your way of life being destroyed. Donald Trump is the figurehead of that, and that's basically his campaign too, is like make America great again, implying that where we are now is
Right.
bad and you know it, so we better turn the fucking clock back. And that appeals very broadly to half
If
the
you-
fucking country.
If you guys don't believe that that our country's trying to be swayed to be communists, then you guys are the dumb ones. And I'm sorry, I've never said that to you guys.
Mhm.
Our country is trying to be taken over to be communist. Do you not feel this?
And you're actually promoting it.
Haley, do you feel it?
I do not think that China is trying to take over America and make us communists. No.
Okay, Chad,
No.
do you
Our
feel
country is a capitalist country, period. It doesn't matter what
Oh,
government
God.
is in power, whether it's democratic, communist, whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. The thing that runs our country is money. The biggest corporations in the world control all the politicians. Doesn't matter who they are, Trump included. Whoever's giving you the money is who's telling you what to do. And so you fucking do it. And I think the Republicans are just like, they try to hide it, they lie about it, and they cheat and all this shit in ways Democrats don't. But that's what they're in it for. Let me go into politics.
Yeah, are
all
you
this
really
fucking
going
money.
to tell me Democrats don't lie and cheat?
Oh my God.
No, they
What
do.
the
They do,
fuck?
but not in discriminatory
fool.
ways. They all
Okay.
politicians are in it for the money, period, with one or two exceptions.
Mm.
But I think even after you've been in the system for a couple of years and you see how it works, and you're like, I'm up against a fucking wall here. All the shit that I came into politics to do, to change things and make things better, even if you're idealistic in your original intent, you get into politics and you see nothing's going to happen because you've got a whole wall of people who are in it just for the money. So you say, fuck it, I might as well get rich too. That, I think, is how politics generally work in this country. And then you have somebody like Nancy Pelosi, who's been in office for fucking however goddamn long. And all she does now, her whole job, is writing laws to make it easier to do insider trading so she can get rich. That's her whole fucking job.
And
I think
Biden
all
has sold us
politicians are
out. Biden has sold us out
Sure.
to
Biden's
China
taking
and
money wherever he
Ukraine.
can get it. Trump is taking. You're like
Yep.
Trump raised $7 million in 2 days after the indictment. He's
That's from
From-
people
from
in
America.
America.
From
Yes.
Americans.
America.
He's stealing directly from you, and he's going to take your fucking tax money, and he's going to use
No.
it to bail himself out, and he's going to use it for his fucking legal defense. He's taking money directly from you. He's not even at this
Good.
point using the government
Good.
to fucking lie to you
Let's
about
get
it.
him elected.
To help protect us from communists.
Right? There are no communists coming. It's the
We're gonna
capitalists
fight.
that are
We're
fucking
gonna
you
fight.
over.
We're going to fight people like you to the end.
Chad, why
Yeah.
are people from China up here in Oklahoma buying all the land of the marijuana grow land that is not available? They've gone under. Why is China up here buying that land? Why
Because
would they
they
be in
too are capitalists.
Oklahoma, in bumfuck Oklahoma,
are not.
buying land up? They're all
You go convince Chi he's a capitalist.
Okay.
He's
Set
a
it up.
communist.
Let me know when,
All
where
right.
I got to be and when I
Support
got to be there. I'll talk to him.
well.
Yeah.
This is the end. Go ahead, Chad. Take it away.
It basically is the end. We've come to an hour here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank God.
Had some heated debate today. Happy Father's Day out there. We're recording this on Sunday to anybody listening, and we will be off next week, as it is, Dad, your 70th birthday.
Are we not? Can we not do the podcast like from their living room all together?
No, I think what we're gonna do is maybe have some video content up on the YouTube channel. So be looking out for that. But I doubt we're gonna sit down and record a whole fucking podcast.
We
Yelling
can
at
just talk about it the next day and record it on Monday.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. We'll see. But I think probably we're gonna try to celebrate your birthday, Dad, have a good time, and not get into heated debates. Hopefully, we will see. But at the very least, there might be some YouTube videos or something. So if you're
I'm
not following,
going. We're all going out and spend a little time with my MAGA horse, Shiny.
Okay.
okay.
He hates communism.
Okay.
Great. If you're not following us
told
on
me.
YouTube,
He
You
told
should-
me so.
if you're not following us on YouTube, you should follow us on YouTube. It's The Necessary Conversation. Look it up. And like I said, I think there will be some video content from this weekend that I'm going to be shooting myself on my cell phone. So hopefully you'll
Don't
join
do
us
it
for that.
secretly. Don't do
No.
it secretly.
It won't be. You'll know
You
all
little
about
communist spy.
it. Okay.
Don't bring any air balloons.
All right. Before we go, we do what we do always on this show, despite our political differences, despite the arguments we've had over the past hour. Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you, and happy Father's Day. Haley, I love you.
Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you. Happy Father's Day. Chad, I love you.
Chad, Haley, I love you. Bob, I love you. Happy Father's Day.
Chad and Haley, I love you, even though you're communists.
Oh my God.
Mary Lou, I love you. Happy Father's Day.
We
Tell
will see you-
Conrad Happy Father's
Yes.
Day.
Happy Father's Day to Conrad.
Yeah.
See you next week.
I'm not sure about him yet, but I don't think he's turned communist on me yet.
No.